Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Reasonably Effective Podcast. I'm Ten Types, as I was joined by Uncommon Fossil.
Hello, glad to be here. Glad to be talking some more Pokemon TCG.
Yep, and today we're talking about the new Mega Evolutions from the expansion Mega Evolution. Some confusing naming here. We are talking about the 10 new Megas here, one of each type. We might talk about some other stuff. And they are new to the TCG, kind of. They are, I guess. They're three prizers of any stage, and I'm definitely, in the past three prizes have been super strong. These are definitely weaker than those, but I'm interested in we're going to talk about like how good they are and stuff like that. Because I'm going to be completely honest, I think they're a little underwhelming in my opinion, but there are some pretty cool cards here as well.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk. I mean, the cards are okay, I think, but they're not the best decks. I don't think. I mean, they're still early days, but I don't think any of these are really gonna become the top deck. We'll see. At least one of them's going into what might be the best deck in format, so that you might have a different view on that. Now, later ones that come out, in the future expansions, that things may change, but at this point, it's not warping the game, which is certainly something we have to discuss.
Yeah. And also this is a start of a new era, kind of, but not exactly. There's still regular EXs. Well, there weren't regular EXs, as in two prize EXs in Mega Evolution the first set, but with the next set, or at least in Japan, we've seen like at the World Championships, the Oricorio EX got revealed, which does work with Megas, but it itself is
Yeah.
not a Mega. So yeah, we are gonna get regular EXs, though I don't believe we're getting any more Terras, Trainer Pokemon, or I think there's a third category. It might be Stellar, but I think there might be another one. Regardless, we're just getting regular EXs. But which ones have you played so far, and what are your thoughts on them?
I've just played what I think are the big two for in terms of their own decks, which is first the Mega Lucario EX, which was the one that's the free deck that everyone gets initially. So I first played the free deck, and now I've done another list which I net decked that is better, and then Mega Venusaur, the stage two, which you run into the stage two problems. I think they're both okay to. I don't think either one's a. They're not bad decks. Certainly playing online, you can win games with it. You're not going to dominate, but they're viable to win. I don't know in like a competitive IRL situation that the decks are going to be good enough, but certainly for to play online, you'll be in games. You will win games playing the decks.
Yeah, and also I will say right before recording this, I played some Mega decks just to like kind of get more experience with them. I had played some before, but yeah, I played Mega Lucario and Mega Venusaur. I will say the first day that the new set came out, because as you said, this is the free deck. I played against this deck like so much. I will say fighting has gotten a lot of new pieces. I've played against almost exclusively
Yeah,
fighting decks. Honestly, I've seen so many fighting decks. When I say fighting, it's a bit of a stretch. It's fighting as in like playing Lunatone Solrock. So Lunatone
right.
Solrock is played in Mega Lucario. It's also played within Cynthia's. It's also played within Goldengo pretty commonly now, as well as Ceruledge, stage one EXs that are not fighting there. But yeah, I do think that the pieces around are good, but Mega Lucario feels like all right, I guess.
Um, yeah, I mean, what I had been playing before the Megas launched was Blissey EX, and I still wanted to play that but within probably a couple hours of the news of the playing it, I played the probably less than an hour because every deck was fighting and it just wasn't good. Which that's always that's one of the unfortunate things. Something new comes out and everybody's playing the one new thing. So it was one type, one deck. Now the fighting tools are good, and there are some other fighting decks as well, but it has been very fighting heavy in the standard format, which is the downside, but it'll even out over time.
Yeah, and I think like Mega Lucario EX itself, because I've been playing Cynthia's Garchomp EX, I think that deck is. I mean, I've always been really thought it's really good, pretty much. And I think it's definitely a top 10 deck personally, based on my experience playing with it. But I think Mega Lucario is a similar power level, but it gives up a third prize. Like it feels like a little stronger than like the good stage one EXs, but not like that much stronger. And it gives up an extra prize, which is bad. And also it's weak to Psychic, which obviously is with Gardevoir EX as well as anything playing Lily's Clefairy EX has like a Psychic option. So um, giving up an extra prize is bad, like obviously. And it's like in terms of your prizing, like the prize map your opponent can take, they can generally take six prizes, as in like they don't need to go above and beyond knocking out like a Mega Lucario and then like a two prizer and then another Mega Lucario taking eight prizes or even seven. Generally, because you're going to have a wide board of Pokemon of different prizes. Specifically, you're going to have a lot of single prizers like Luatone, Solrock, and maybe Hariyama. I feel like it's like solid. There's definitely like good stuff, and Mega Lucario, its first attack does 130 for one, accelerates, so it's like decent. It's like okay damage, can one shot Fez, and can like set up your board, and then your second attack 270 for two fighting, and you can also boost its damage. Like earlier today when I was playing, I one shot a Mega Gardevoir. I don't know why my opponent like turn two retreated into the Mega Gardevoir and passed. That seemed like bad, but I did one shot it, which is like really hard to do. I think he had Maximum Belt, two Premium Power Pros, and Gravity Mountain or something like that. I don't know if that's quite right, but they have like resistance and a lot of HP. But I was able to get there. So it is strong, but it's not like super easy to get going. It's not absurdly consistent or like setting up anything crazy. It's like a fair deck. I think it's fine.
Yeah. So first, I'll talk about Mega Lucario, and then I think we should talk about the fighting pieces because that's in some ways more important. But look, Mega Lucario, a couple things. One, it's 340 HP on a stage one, so that's the HP high with the high HP for a stage two, right? Stage two EX. So
Yeah, I will say it's also the high HP for stage one EX with like Palafin EX is the same HP, which is like different. And then Blissey is also at 300, so I guess like a 40 HP difference
yes.
though is pretty big still.
Yeah, but obviously 340 for the stage twos, that's really what the highest ones are at, right? There might be something
Yeah.
higher, but this is a very good HP number. Obviously, the like you said, psychic weakness isn't good, but obviously you can't be getting one shot with that pretty much any of these EXs, I would say. But I think the HP number is such that it's balanced. The fact that it's three prizes. Now the attacks. I like Aura Jab. I think it's very important when I played the deck. In that first, the energy acceleration is really good. Of course, up to three basics, and you can put on your bench anywhere you want. So that's really nice. You can spread them around, double up one, doesn't matter. In Mega Brave at 270, I think in some sense that's the problem. First off, it's 270, so yes, you can boost it, and if you want to one-shot things, you pretty much have to boost it. But that's not great. So I found when I played it a lot of the times, it was Aura Jab and then setting up to the final attack with Mega Brave, right? I kind of took both two attacks to knock things out, which isn't great. That's a downside. And you can't Mega Brave back-to-back turns. So you essentially, you have to double switch or have another Mega Lucario on the bench that you can power up that turn. So it's a little tricky there. I think the Aura Jab is really good, though. The damage numbers I think is the weakness, and I haven't figured out yet the prize mapping because I now didn't play the deck a ton, but some how to try to force my opponent to get eight prizes. I'm not sure how viable a strategy that is gonna be.
Yeah, that seems like really sketchy. It would be more viable if you had like a good two prize attacking option. I know there are some Lucario EXs. Um, I don't think
Yeah.
any of them are any good really. Yeah, they're like pretty mediocre at best here. And yeah, I feel like Mega Lucario, as you were saying, like the HP is the thing that really like makes it better than a normal stage one. I feel like the attacks are like all right. I'm generally not a huge fan of setup attacks either. It's not just a setup attack, the first one, which does like decent damage, but I think they're solid attacks, but like it's all right. And again, with the fighting stuff, you can boost the damage. I think boosting the damage earlier on is also pretty good. There are times when you're taking like an early knockout with like a bunch of premium power pros. If you can get there, it's like kind of hard to do. But I found that's pretty nice. Also, Solrock turn one can be cool. Kind of jumping ahead to the fighting stuff, which I will say there were multiple games in which I forgot Solrock hit through resistance. So whoops. But
Mm.
so yeah, Solrock does 70 for one. It's kind of like Fan Rotom, which is like an all-ray attacker there. And yeah, Lumitone like for the draw. Should we just like fully transition into the fighting support?
There's not much else to say about the
No.
Mega Lucario itself, I don't think. Now, I do have a two prize attacker in the deck list. I was playing, and that's Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon because I like
Yeah.
that option. It's always fun to wall things off and know your opponents. It hits through walls, so I don't have to worry about that. And it's another okay attack, right?
Yeah.
Which pairs well, I guess, in a certain sense, with Mega Lucario's okay attack.
Yeah, I guess like Ogerpon, it is a good Pokemon. I think it's like a really, really good Pokemon. Ultimately, in terms of forcing your opponent to go for 8 prizes, it doesn't really work because the whole point of Ogerpon is that they don't knock it out. But
Yeah.
it is a good card in the deck, I think.
Yeah, I kind of looked at some lists, so I chose the list with that as the kind of secondary attacker. Whether that's the best choice, I don't know. Getting the other cards, which is what makes Lucario viable, is the other cards. You've already mentioned Power or Premium Power Pro does plus 30 per item you play that turn, so really good there
Yeah,
for this
for
and
that item you play.
per item you play, right?
Yeah,
So,
for Premium Power
um,
Pro. Like it's not like the other items, which is kind of
oh,
what it's sounding like.
oh, I'm sorry, right, correct. That would be too good, right?
Yeah.
So Premium Power Pro is a very good card. Without that, this deck wouldn't be good. I'm not sure if other fighting decks benefit more from it or not, but that could be the case. And Fighting Gong's a really nice item as well. And to pair with it, right? Look for a basic psychic fighting energy or a basic fighting Pokemon. Put it in your hand, right? It is the psychic one, which I'm blanking the name on now.
Fog Crystal, yeah.
Fog Crystal, which was a tremendous card, made those psychic decks work really well. Playing Rapid Strike Malamar, it was awesome. I know. No, that's not true for that. So it wasn't bad, but it's
No,
a really
it was
good.
It was good in Malamar.
Yeah. So these are
I'll give it
two.
that.
Okay, yeah, the Fog Crystal was a good card. You'll not so these are both good items, and obviously the deck wouldn't be very good without them.
And then also, wait, so you said you're playing fighting Ogerpon. Are you also playing Hariyama, the one that you gust when you play it, and then you also can
Yes.
attack? Okay.
Yeah, which you want to talk about that? I'll talk about that. Did you play Hariyama in your deck or no?
Yeah, I did not play the Ogerpon though. I just copied the
Okay.
first list on Limitless. And yeah, it plays Hariyama as like a second attack. I didn't actually attack with it, or I don't know if I used its ability. I kind of like left it open as a gusting option because it's gust on play, which is like cool. We've seen abilities
Right.
like this in the past. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're like not super amazing, but it definitely has value. Value in a few different ways. It can also get stuck. It does have 4 retreat, or no, it has 3 retreat, but that's like
3.
still higher than you want. The basic has 2, so you can air balloon there though.
And that's the big problem with it. Like the list I play has a 3 basics, 2 of the stage 1. The attack is does 210 on a single prize, so that's good. And of course you can boost it, does 70 to itself, but doing 210 on a single prize, or not a basic, but a single prize is a very nice number there. It's 3 energies. You can power that one up if you want with your Mega Lucario if you're preparing. But that 3 retreat cost I found to be super problematic, I gotta say, and I didn't like playing it for that reason. Mostly you get the basic down and is a threat, right? And I would prefer to use a prime catcher or a boss if that's what I had, because that 3 prizer, probably half the time I played the Hariyama in a game, my opponent would get that guy gusted up, and I usually wasn't powering up because that wasn't the way I want to attack it in the game. And all of a sudden, it's 3 energies to attack and 3 energies to retreat, and he's just stuck there, and I'm in a lot of trouble. So that's why I'm not so sure that I like the Hariyama myself.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I feel like it has. I feel like you can generally get maybe 1 energy on it. Do you play Switch in your the list as that I not actually list it, but it does play 2 Switch in the list. And I will also say I feel like you don't need 3 basics because the basics with Fighting Gong are pretty easy to search out, I guess. I mean, I
Yeah.
found Fighting Gong to be super good. I thought Premium Power Pro was going to be the item that was like really amazing, which I mean I do think it's very good. But I found Fighting Gong to be like amazing just for like so much more consistency.
Yeah.
You're playing it's like 4 nest balls or like earthen vessels, which is like super. It's not earthen vessels, but it's just close. And it's also not nest ball because you can't get like Fez or whatever. But
Right.
yeah, I feel like you don't need I almost want to say it should be flipped on its head and be was gonna say 2 basics and 3 stage 1s because you can't search the stage 1s as easily. But
Right.
anyways, I feel like wait, so yeah, does your list play Switch though?
It doesn't play Switch, which maybe I should change it up and do that. It plays 2 air balloons.
Yeah.
So I have to use the basic. It also plays 1 reversal. So if I'm behind in prizes, I could attach that to attack, right? Is probably the first option. But then you could also attach and retreat if you're behind in prizes as well.
Yeah, the list I found plays two air balloon and two switch, which is interesting. Doesn't play. You said yours played Prime Catcher,
Yeah.
so
So what's your
that
A
is a
spec?
switch. This is with Maximum Bell. As I said before the podcast, or wait, did I
Okay.
say it during the podcast that I one shot a Mega Gardevoir using Maximum Bell along with some other stuff.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I think you did. So, well, I wasn't sure if it was that or if it was the Premium Power Pro, but anyway, okay. So maximum belt, which is very good as well. So,
yeah, fixing
I can
that like
see.
low damage, as you were saying, 270 is not really enough. Boosting it by 50, one shots something like say Dragapult, which is good.
Oh, the other card which this deck plays, I don't know if yours plays two Professor Turfsonera, which does get the Hariyama out of the active, but
Uh,
also lets you reactivate it. So actually, I like the Professor Turf scenario probably. So I probably would rather keep that than the two switch if I see the Hariyama is really important in the deck, right? It
yeah.
kind of acts like a boss in a lot of ways.
Yeah, that's interesting. I definitely think there's some cool stuff with the deck. It's got like pieces that obviously work together in interesting ways, but it's not like there's a clear way in which you have to build it exactly like this, which I think is
Right.
fun deck building stuff. I definitely feel like Mega Lucario is the main deck from this set. I mean, it's the one they gave out. It's one of the ones revealed at Worlds. It just got like some cool stuff in it.
Yeah.
But I feel like now we can move on to Mega Venusaur. Mega
Yeah,
Venusaur. Oh,
just hang on, just the one thing which you mentioned before, but obviously the Lunatone Soul Rock's really good for this
oh,
deck. It's good
yeah.
in other decks too, but you draw three once per turn, and you want to get the energies of the discard, which is what the Lunatone does. So that's obviously really it's designed for this deck, right? It's very
Yeah.
good with it.
Yeah, Lunatone's like super good. I think Lunatone I underrated. I thought it was just like I did think it was the best single prizer, but I thought it was like decent. It's been very, very good so far in like a bunch of different decks. As I said, it's been in like um what was I gonna say, Goldengo, Sarah Ledge, and some other things as well. But yeah, moving on to Mega Venusaur though. Mega Venusaur
Yeah.
has an ability here, Solar Transfer, letting you move your basic grass energies around, and then Jungle Dump for 4 grass. You heal 30 from it, and you do 240. Mega Venusaur EX also again the stuff around it is very important. So the Mega Venusaur deck, which is currently the on Play Limitless, the most played Mega deck, I think. I'm not sure how
Yeah.
much Angus Khan's played. I have no idea. Um, but I'm pretty sure it's above Lucario. I don't know if it's been like split up, but anyways, Mega Venusaur EX has a few important pieces. Obviously, Grass Ogre Pond to accelerate and draw is good, and then you have the new card Force of Vitality, letting you evolve your Grass Pokemon the turn you play them, except turn one. Then Meganium doubles all your Grass energy. It is a stage 2. I will also mention there's Hydrapple EX. I haven't played it. I've heard some people say that they think it's pretty good. It has some similarities. I wouldn't play it with Mega Venusaur, but it's kind of like an alternate option there for big damage. Versus Mega Venusaur itself is very tanky, paired with healing options like Turret Scenario and Wally's, which I just played with like one game and it was like fine, I guess.
Yeah, I now first off, I do believe Mega the Venusaur is the most played, but I believe the Mega Lucario is split between ones with Hariyama and ones that are just called Mega Lucario.
Okay,
So,
okay.
but I think it's still less. But yeah, yeah. So the ability on Mega Venusaur is okay, or potentially very good. I mean, the attack for energies not great there. You're playing, I assume, in the deck you played too, the Meganium. I'm sure
Oh,
that's not
Meganium,
pronounced right.
yeah.
Meganium that doubles your grass energy, so you only need two attached, which is very useful there. And on my list plays one Wally's Compassion. I almost wish I had more, although maybe it's not as useful a card as I think as I'd like it to be when I played it. But that lets you heal all your energy, all your damage from a Mega EX, and the energies go to hand, I think. So
Yeah,
which
to
isn't bad.
hand.
But of course, you're healing off the Mega Venusaur, so you're moving the energy off first anyway, and then moving them back. So potentially very good. Oh, and this is 380 HP, so that is obviously super high. I don't know if there's any. Is this the highest Pokemon in the TCG now? I'm
Yeah,
not
this is
sure on
the
that.
new highest. 380 is the highest, and I believe it's higher than any of the other Mega Stage 2s or like anything we've
Yes.
seen, even beyond this set. But I'm not 100% sure on that. But
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's the highest one right now that we have. So it's pretty good. I mean, 240 is obviously a bit of a disappointing number. You're two-shotting the big Pokemon, but you're two-shotting them, and you're not getting knocked out. Um, and then part of what makes this deck good, you want to talk more about the Mega Venusaur first, or talk about some of the other pieces?
I guess I'll talk about. I mean, you mentioned Wally's Compassion. Wally's Compassion does return the energy
Yeah,
to your hand, which does allow you to reaccelerate it with Ogerpon to draw more. So that's like kind of cool. But ultimately,
right.
with Mega Venusaur, you mentioned the ability being like kind of good. I will say, like comparing it to abilities in the past, like Bronzong or like Aromatisse or something, which just let you move as much energy around of a type as you want during your turn. They're on stage one single prizers, and they also let you move special energies. We don't have that in
Yeah.
standard. We have Armarouge, but I'd say Armarouge's ability is almost as good as Mega Venusaur's. It might even be better. I'm not sure. And it's on a stage one single prizer. So like the ability theoretically, like what it does is like it's like all right, it's definitely has some value, giving you like versatility. I mean, you were mentioning with Hariyama and like we just talked about in general getting stuck in the active.
Yeah.
This will like more or less stop that. And well, Mega Venusaur does have high retreat, which did actually retreat one game. It did what was I gonna say? It allowed me to I was able to retreat using Meganium and still like have a bunch of energy on board and like I could do a lot of different things with it. So it is cool, but it's not like crazy. It has good synergy with like Ogerpon as well, but I think that it's cool, but it's not. And then the attack also isn't like super good, so it doesn't have anything crazy going for it, except I guess the HP.
Right. Well, since it's on a stage two, the intent is you're not using the Venusaur's ability just for the ability because it's too much work to get in play, but you're also attacking with the Venusaur. Or at least that's one of your primary attacking options. And then you're healing off. And you play the Team Mask Ogerpon. That's not a new card, as everyone knows what that is. You're accelerating energies, drawing cards with that. So you're moving the energies onto it from the Teal Mask Ogerpon as well. So it's designed. It's not a support ability, but it's an ability to support that Pokemon, right? I think
Yeah.
that's the design focus.
Yeah, I will say Ogerpon is like so. What its attack does if you're not familiar is it's 30. So it's through grass, which you can't power up in one turn normally, but with Meganium you can. And then for through grass you do 30 more free energy attached to both actives. And then with Meganium you're doubling the energy, so you can easily get on like a bunch of
Yeah.
energy and be super strong here. I think I one-shotted a Gardevoir with this after I retreated with Mega Venusaur because I did it wrong. Which is like kind of absurd. So it's like Teal'c Ogerpon is a shockingly strong attacker in the deck because you can just like move all your energy to it if you want to. Um, and then like in contrast, Mega Venusaur just as I said isn't like a super good attacker. So well, yes, I think it is supposed to be like the main attacker design-wise. It's not spectacular. Healing 30 is almost meaningless because like you want to heal a lot. And then if you heal 30, that's like probably not going to matter. I mean, it could matter. It's better to heal 30 than not heal 30, but um, it's kind of underwhelming. I'd say Venusaur itself as a Pokemon is underwhelming. It works. I guess I should mention this stadium as well. I mentioned it before, but it like the stadium to evolve quickly is like cool, but it is kind of clunky as well. You to run, I imagine for the stadium if you want it as like an important piece in your deck. And then you to like draw into it or like hit it with like Secret Box or something. And then you need like a bunch of Pokemon as well. So it allows you to not have to run Rare Candy and allow you to recover faster, but it is like sketchy. Kind of like this might be a terrible comparison, but it reminds me of Baby Blacephalon, um, where you can go from like nothing to having to like doing whatever you want, but you also need like a ton of pieces. Like here you need two like if you have like nothing you need like a bunch of stage 2 lines and a bunch of basics and like a few energies and then with the Baby Blacephalon you need the Blacephalon, the Welder, and like a bunch of energies. So and you could
Yeah.
go from nothing just in like anything, but it is a lot of pieces.
Yeah, I mean, the Forest of Vitality is important though, because otherwise you'd be running 4 rare candies, and it's more. I am playing 4 copies of the Stadium in this list, but I don't have because I don't have to play the rare candies now. It's a better deck than it would be if it was relying on rare candy.
Yeah.
So it's a plus for the deck. Um, but yeah, and because it's stage 2 lines, it's a lot of pieces, a lot of deck space being taken up in the deck as well. But look, Cornerstone, the Teal Mask Ogerpon is really good. This list is only playing 2 because of the other cards in it. I'm guessing you have more than 2 because
No, wait, the list I'm using is the top limit list on Limitless. Is that what you're
I
using?
don't remember.
No.
If this one plays Toadscruel, I don't know if you play that.
Yeah. Does it play Regigigas?
Yes, so we have
Okay,
the
it's
same list
probably
then.
yeah.
Yeah. So talk about some of the other pieces. The stadium. it's a very good card. It got something banned and expanded, so you know the card's very good when it gets cards banned, I would say. While Compassion's potentially good, but I wasn't getting a ton of value out of that card. And then but Toadscrew was very important in the deck because another deck that's very good, and it's not a mega deck, and it's a better deck than the mega decks, and that is Goldengo
Yeah.
EX. Is, and you know it's all right. Everyone knows it's good. But I beat that because of Toadscrew, right?
Yeah.
Because they scaled really well too, and then they're taking three prizes, and you just kind of cry at that. So Toadscrew just shuts them down and is really critical of this deck. Oh, the other card which I really like, I don't know if you like this much, but is Bug Catching. So I think it's a really strong card in these grass decks.
Yeah, it's good specifically because, as I was saying, you need to like get a bunch of cards in your hand. Bug catching set gets you a lot of cards. I mean, you like Great Ball. It's kind of like Great Ball. It's actually very similar to Great Ball. It's more, it
Right.
gets you more stuff, but um, it's it gets you kind of random stuff. But you can just get like random stuff to your hand and then just get a bunch of random stuff, and hopefully then you'll get what you need, and you have like decent draw as well. I will say though,
Right.
regarding like Goldengo and then the other decks, the big question about megas, in my opinion, is there are decks like Goldengo, Sacrilege, Raging Bolt. These decks are able to one shot you. Or I don't know how much Sacrilege does. I assume Sacrilege can one shot you. I mean, it can. Certainly one shots to make a Venusaur, but I don't know how much energy it normally plays for like one-shotting like Mega Lucario, but regardless, these decks are one-shotting you and they're two prizers, so like it doesn't really matter what you're doing unless you're just like taking like four prizes with one attack, which you're not. You're taking two at like best. Well, I guess you could be taking three, but not in that matchup. So like are the Megas able to beat these like powerful one-shotting decks, which are good with even if they're not against Megas, but they're like even better against the Megas and I don't know. I haven't really played those matchups surprisingly, but I don't know. I feel like getting your Mega one shot, which does happen, is really bad.
Yeah, look, getting a Mega One Shot's very bad. I guess the question is, can they do it twice? Because, like, say, if Goldengo does it, that's bad, but Goldengo's going to struggle to do it a second time, right? Because
Um,
my experience with Goldengo, when you one shot the Charizard EX or the Dragapult EX, it's tough to get the pieces the second time because now you've burned your ace back, right? You really need a well set up board to pull it off the second time.
I guess, but I feel like you could do it two times. I feel like you can use your ace spec the first time. Well, actually, they're playing. I don't think they're playing that ace spec anymore. Generally because they're playing the
Yeah.
fighting stuff, but like they can be. I think it's still pretty good. But regardless, yeah, they can like get their first attack, just getting the energies into their hand, then they can Superior Energy Retrieval for the second one, and then generally they'll struggle to get a like they can't really get a third one, but they don't need that much more energy to knock out like Mega Venusaur over like Mega or over regular Charizard EX. They need like one more twice, I guess I'll say. But it's not even it's like not that bad. So like I think it is okay for the Gholdengo deck to be able to get it. I'm not as familiar with Sacrilege or Raging Bolt. I assume it's like fine there as well. Raging Bolt does have more issues like scaling into more energies at a point because you're attaching them to your board. You don't just need them in your hand, but it is like still pretty sure pretty doable. And also like if you fall behind a little bit, it's not even a huge issue because you are the deck giving up less prizes. It's like if a single prize deck falls behind a two prize deck, that's what happens. It's fine to you can catch up, and now that's what the situation that the two prizes are in.
Yeah, and with this deck here, well, one of the fun things is it has the Regigigas as the other attacker. I mean, that's very situational, right? Because it does, it takes four energy, which you can power up, but then it does 330 to a Terra Pokemon, and that's what you want it for. You don't really want 100 for four energies otherwise. So
Yeah.
it's a nice option, but it's very situational. Obviously, the megas there's less Terra, so I don't really know if this is the best secondary attacker. But because of the deck, um, it allows you to have you could replace the Regigigas with anything else that uses grass or colorless, right? So it does allow a little bit of box style deck, but you still need these two stage two lines, so your deck space is limited. But you could have one or two other attackers, which I think I'd like in the deck. Because with this deck right now, basically, I think I'm just attacking with Mega Venusaur every turn, right? Or with a Teal Mask Ogerpon, right? Which I guess that's the number two attacker.
Yeah, there's also
Or
a Tapu Bulu, which is like okay, it does 220 for four. So it's weaker than Regigigas against not Terras, but stronger against like general things. Or wait, no, sorry, it's weaker than Regigigas against Terras, but stronger against not Terras. And so there are some cool options. I don't think it's a super. I don't think Mega Venusaur is super good. I mean, I heard some people saying it's like really good. Win rate is not the perfect measure of how good a deck is, but it's an okay measure, and Mega Venusaur is really bad. So, yeah,
Yeah,
it's not
yeah. I
great.
mean, at the time of recording, it's like 43%, and that's not good, especially for a deck that's played a lot. Now it's a new deck, so people are playing it that maybe aren't as good with it, but it's seeing a decent amount of plays, and it's not winning a lot. And I think we both agree that's probably reflective of the power of the deck, and being a double stage two deck is just awkward. Now our listeners are different because I don't play the Tapu Bulu
Oh no, I
in
don't. I
it.
don't play Bulu. I was saying that you
Oh, you
you
just
could.
oh you
Yeah.
could. Okay, all right.
Um,
So
but then I'll also say, I was gonna say, I don't know, Mega Lucario does have a win rate of like 45, which is like not good, but that's more where I expect like a new deck that's not super impressive to be. Oh, and then Mega Venusaur, it's like a tanky deck. Tanky decks in general aren't super impressive. I'd say just, I guess in general, the Megas are kind of like tanky decks,
yeah.
which, decks that are designed to tank in the Pokemon TCG, I think generally fail. You generally want a Pokemon to spend more focus on damage, like Raging Bull or Goldengo, they're not the tanky. I guess like Raging Bull is actually a pretty tanky basic two prizer, but yeah, it's not something that is generally going to be winning you games all that often.
No, something that right, a high HP Pokemon, as long as your opponents have ways to one shot it, there's enough decks that will one shot you. You're not going to get by with that, right? You can obviously play with a wall deck because wall decks are pretty solid right now. Um, so I think there's options for wall decks, but that's different than a tanky Pokemon, right? A tanky Pokemon's taking the damage and you're just not getting knocked out. So I think the way to try to do it is lean more into Wally's compassion and just see if you can make that work. But I don't think you're gonna have that flow for you enough of the time to make it work.
Yeah. Then I think the third, I guess we should talk about Mega Gardevoir now. Mega Gardevoir EX, it has two attacks. The first one like sets up your board. I don't know if there's many use cases of this. I think it's kind of bad because you're just leaving your three prizer in the active to be like hit. But there might be some use case. I don't know. And then the second attack here, and I'm talking about standard right now because it's realistically just going to be played in Mega Gardevoir, sorry, in Gardevoir EX.
Right.
And so it does 50 for each psychic energy attached to all your Pokemon. I will say it comes up a little short, based on Gardevoir list, like pre Mega Evolution. They're playing like 7 energies. You can like kind of assume one is just not going to be there. So that's 6 times 50, it is 300, which is probably not enough, but it's not horrible either. So ultimately, I feel like it's an okay option within Gardevoir EX, but I've seen a lot of people not playing it as well, um, which is not a good sign. Like if it's a new card, it kind of fits perfectly within a certain deck. The deck's good, it could use it, and it's not always playing it. That's a bad sign. I've played against it some. I've seen people kind of struggle to get it out. I've seen people just not use it because they don't need it because like you can use like Drifloon to take one shots as well. So I feel like its use cases are too narrow, and its downsides are too much for it to be good. In Mega Gardevoir, I mean, I think it or in Gardevoir, I think it's okay in Gardevoir. I don't think it's bad, but I think it's bad outside of Gardevoir, and okay in Gardevoir, and that's not really where you want to be.
Right. You can make and it's 360 HP for a stage two, so that's a little higher, but it's not. And Gardevoir is a little lower anyway for HP, but compared to other for a stage two EX, it's only a little bit higher than the other stage two, so it's not quite at what you'd like to be for tankiness. Gardevoir is a very good deck, obviously. So Mega Gardevoir could arguably be the best of the megas, but just because Gardevoir is a really good deck, right? And I from what I was looking at it, I think I was seeing maybe less than half the decks are playing the Mega Gardevoir right now. And like you said, it's the new thing. I would think if you're gonna play Mega Gardevoir, I think I'd really want 8 energies though. In Gardevoir, the
Yeah.
good thing about Gardevoir is you don't need many energies. But now, because you want to be able to hit 400, I think, right? Because you want to be able
Um.
to one shot a mega stage two, right? So right now you need to hit 400 on a turn. So I want 8 energies in the deck, and that's one or two more energies I play anyway. And I have this Mega Gardevoir card, so I'm losing some deck slots, which I'm not probably makes the deck worse, is my guess.
Yeah. I'd say 8. Like, I mean, also like you might have won prize, so like you might even
Yeah.
want more. I don't know. It's like kind of sketchy. The use cases are kind of there, but they're kind of not, which is pretty underwhelming. So yeah, I think really that's all there is to say about it. There's like other stuff we
Yeah.
could say about Gardevoir, but I don't really feel like saying it because Gardevoir's been good for a while and they're not that interesting.
Well, everybody knows it, right? So,
Yeah, we can talk about the new
what
Ralts and Kirlia.
we could, but I think we're not going to do that, right? We're talking about the megas here, so
Yeah.
let's skip that. So I think we want to save off the Mega Kangaskhan for the end. That's what I'm thinking.
Um,
Because or you
we
want to do
could.
that next?
No,
What do
I'm
you want
fine.
to
I'm fine saving it. So we'll talk about. Oh, I closed my list of megas. Oh, I think it was from this tab. Okay, so the other one I've been playing, which I thought was going to be the best, or maybe second best behind Mega Kangaskhan. I thought it was going to be the best, which is Mega Camera Up DX, which I still think is pretty good. So what it does for one fire, it does 80, but if your opponent's active is burned, it does 160 more. So it's 240 for one. And you're also doing some extra damage with the burn, but you also need to like set it up, so that's not extra damage on Mega Kangaskhan itself. But it's a little clunky, but it's relatively workable. I played it with Wally's Compassion to heal, and it does what it wants to do fine enough. Honestly, I got it to like work all right. I haven't made a video on it because it's really boring. I'm not gonna lie, and it's not like super impressive. I thought it was going to be a bit better than it was when I played it, but as I said, I think it's like all right. The second deck does have some use cases, I guess, but I didn't put in. You need like ignition energy, which I didn't put in my list. So yeah, it's fine. You can attack decently consistently. I think you want to use Volcanion EX to burn your opponent's
for the
Pokemon
fire?
with a bunch of
Okay.
switches. Maybe toss in a Volcarona. The Volcanion EX needs to be in the active. You need like a lot of switch, which is actually part of the issue. You can only play 4 switch and like a prime catcher, and that's it. I mean, there is Professor Turo's scenario as well, but there's not like escape rope or anything like that. But regardless, it's like um it's fine. I think it is fine. I haven't seen like anyone else really talking about it, and I'm pretty sure it's an all right deck. I think it's on a similar caliber to the other megas. It's definitely less flashy or interesting, um, but it's fine.
I mean, I'm skeptical of it. I gotta say, in the
For
standard,
what
I think
reason?
because the burn aspect, because you're using Volcanion EX, I get it. It's an ability, so easy to do theoretically, but the retreat cost is 3,
Four.
so
Oh
that's
yeah, for
for
Volcanions
Volcanion
is 3. Yeah.
is 3. Yeah, no, you're right. The Mega Camera Up is 4, so you're right. Yeah. If they don't knock out your Mega Camera Up, you have to double switch, which you can do some, but not consistently. I mean, I think the Mega Camera Up it expanded. I have more burn options, and then I think I could see it maybe working. I don't love the fact that if Volcanion EX is the way to do it, I think that's a real problem. The other way is if you could take advantage of the second attack, but then I probably need like Charizard
Ignition.
EX to power it up, in
This
which
you could just use
case,
ignition. Well, I guess
well,
that's only
Ignition,
one energy, right?
that's the one that what
Or
goes back in my hand? Or
no,
what's the Ignition do?
it's 3 colorless. Yeah,
It
triple
provides 3 colorless, so I
coloration.
need, okay. And what's the ruling on when does it work
Oh, it
or not
always
work?
works, but it goes back or it gets discarded at the end of your turn. Um, so you like
Okay.
need to fire from somewhere else, like Mela or something. It's not like perfect. I don't think it's super good. It's not doing that much more damage. I'll say in terms of setting it up though, it's like a double switch, which is like a switch and then Latias EX, right? And then
Yeah.
which is like a bit of setup. So the hard thing to find is the switch there, which is admittedly a little hard to find. However, it is something that I think is doable. I mean, comparing it to like the other megas, right? Because you need that, and then you just need an energy, and that's it. Um, so versus with like Mega Venusaur, you need like a ton of different things. You need like a stadium and another Pokemon because you're a stage 2, and you also need other energies and like other Pokemon to actually attack. And then you need another stage 2 line. So it's like a lot of things. You don't necessarily need all those things in a very specific stat. You can like kind of mix and match, but ultimately that's like kind of clunky. It does have more tankiness, I guess, but it's actually not that much more tanky. It has 80 more HP, and you can still Wallies, so it's like Mega Camera does similar things. Not that
Right.
Venusaur is amazing, um, but then also with Mega Lucario has better search options. I will admit. Um, you also cannot Buddy pop him for the Numel. That's kind of bad. But then you have what was I gonna say? You need like you're looking for a bunch of fighting pieces like Premium Power Pros and potentially like Hariyama and stuff. So, it does take setup. I'm not denying that, but I'm just saying that other Pegas also require a lot of pieces there.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, also the Mega Camera, the numbers I'm not thrilled about, right? I'm doing what 260 if they're burned plus they're
Yeah.
burned, so I'm doing or I'm doing
No, you're doing
240,
yeah.
and then they burn for 260, and that's not, that's not a great number for all the work it takes to get it. So I mean, a deck like this just is not going to be as good as as the better decks that we already have in format.
Yeah, but I think it's like, it kind of reminds me of what's to say, maybe Ice Rider. Like it's not doing as quite the right
Yeah,
numbers, but it's like it's going for two shots, one-shotting basic, two prizers, relatively low commitment, even some commitment though. Ice Rider, you're looking to play Melanie every turn.
right.
Here you're looking to like play a switch. Then you need like
I'm
a basic.
What I'm thinking is it needs like Ice Rider when it was good because of the Melanie that got the energy and got you some cards. I think the Mega Camera needs another card, and maybe that'll come along.
Surfer.
That
No.
when they
Not
reprint
Surfer.
Welder,
Not
right?
Surfer. Wait, what's? I feel like Welder doesn't like help it. Well, I guess
No,
the
a
second
Ry,
half.
I like a Raihan. Raihan and what in something to burn my opponent in my deck.
I feel like you don't need the
Maybe Hubin.
acceleration, right? If
Right,
you're
it's
going
just
for
the
the
one
burn,
energy.
but you could use
The
Surfer.
burn.
Surfer is a switch. Surfer is a switch supporter, and it also draws you cards like Melanie. It sets up your attack,
Yeah.
um, and draws you cards. It doesn't. It's not as good as Melanie, but it does like some of the similar things. And then you could play like Churros as well, which I could put in the deck. Ultimately, I think I found my point just like bossing two prices a bunch and winning that way. But I don't know. I think Camera Up is like all right. It's kind of boring, but I think it's as good as any of the other Megami attackers, except for the one I want to talk about now, which is Mega Kangaskhan,
Okay.
because I don't think you have more to say about Camera Up unless it's bad.
No, I mean I think Mega Lucario is better than Mega Camera, but part of it's obviously the cards around it too. So
Yeah,
that skews the equation. So no, yeah. Um, so Mega Camera Up EX
Kangaskhan.
is
Oh,
Kangaskhan. Sorry, no Kangaskhan. Potentially very good. Yeah, I guess you're going to make an argument that it is very good. I'm going to say why it's not good, and
okay.
then you can tell me why I'm wrong if that's okay. So 300 HP basic, so that's nice and tanky there. Pleased for that. And then to me, the way I was envisioning it is for the ability primarily, but obviously you're using it as an attacker, so
Yeah.
I'll
Oh
let
no,
you
I'm
tell.
saying it's good because of the ability, but it can be used as an
Okay,
attacker as well.
the Megas Kangaskhan decks are they? I mean, they're attacking with it,
Yes.
right? So we'll save that for how that works too. So it has the ability to run air and it draws two cards once the active spot. So that's good. But we live in an age of Pheasantipity where most of the time you're drawing three cards, right? So two cards doesn't feel as good as it might at sometimes. And the big problem though is the three retreat costs. I'm drawing two cards and then I have to play a switch card to get out of the active. I can't use my tool to retreat, so it doesn't act as a pivot. You can have Latias, right? So if you have a deck that wants to play Latias, then you can do it. Now, I don't think I'm going to put Megas Kangaskhan for two cards and Latias in a deck because I just don't think you get enough benefit to take you give up that much deck space.
Yeah, I think I've. Is that? Do you have more?
Yeah, I mean, I just haven't seen it much, and I just think that two cards in the awkwardness of it just isn't worth it. That's really where I'm at.
Yeah, and I think it's like okay. I said I think it might be the best Mega. I don't think it's the best Mega because it's super good. I think it's the best Mega because the others are bad. But it's the draw's like okay. You can use it like in addition to Pheasantipity, which can be cool.
Yeah,
Um, and again with Latias, that's like not a huge commitment. There are definitely a bunch of decks that play Latias. I've seen it some in Raging Bolt lists. I think that's the main place I've seen it, where you're playing like you're looking for a Pokemon that you can send up, and it also does like kind of mess with your prize mapping for like it allows your opponent to do extra things, which isn't so. It's not like terrible because um you're still a deck that's trying to go like give up two prize every turn. So if you give up three prize there, it's fine, and then it also has 300 HP, but ultimately it's like not ideal. But then it like with Latias it's all right. So I think it's fine there. But then Also, the deck that like playing it by itself is interesting because its attack for 3 colorless does 200, and then you flip coin till you get tails, do 50 more for each heads, which is like okay. But it is a basic. It has high HP, the highest HP basic in the game, I'm pretty sure. And that's like good. It's generally something you want to pair with. Well, the list I have here pairs it with Fortress EX, which knocks itself
Yeah, let's
out.
go.
Empowers, yeah, that's one of your favorites. It powers itself, or no, not itself. It could, but that's bad because then you lose it instantly. But
Yes.
you can power up your Mega Kangaskhan, both of them at once. I guess you also need one more energy, but that's not that hard to do. And then you give up 2 prizes. Your one Kangaskhan dies. You give up 3 more. Now you're giving up 5. Then you Iono. Then you use Acerola's Mischief, which is a new supporter, which essentially protects you, and you can be invincible for like a while, theoretically. I don't know if this deck's actually good. I played against it. I lost. I was playing like a deck that was horrendously awful though. So I don't think it's amazing, but it's all right. I've also seen other lists playing it kind of like how Terapgos is played. It's more energies, but with like tanky stuff. You can be the tankiest Pokemon in the game, kind of. If you have Bouffalant, which reduces the damage you take by 60, and then you also have Bravery Charm, where you have 100, or sorry, 50 more HP. You're at 410 essentially, which is like absurd, right? So it does have some stuff going for it. I don't think it's amazing as an attacker. Like it does have a coin flip element. It can be doing a bunch, but it's on average like half the time it's doing 200. So it's okay. Well, long story short.
Yeah, I gotta play this deck. I gotta say now that I didn't know this list is existed. First, I love Fortress EX, so that's its own is great there. It's relying on this one is designed to force 8 prizes. You'll make that happen most consistently with this deck because you're knocking out your Fortress EX yourself, and then the only other Pokemon you're playing is your Megas Kangaskhan, the Acerola's Mischief. It's a lot of fun. You get to play Picnic Basket. Everyone knows that card's broken, and such. So so it's a very silly deck. So it looks like a lot of fun, but the attack not great. I was thinking though, and I think the deck I got to work on too now is my expanded. Cause I'm doing a little more expanded. As I think of the Mega Kangaskhan with Bliss EV because I liked Bliss EV, and I think I can see I see a deck idea there.
Where are you
Again, not the,
Thorntoning?
I think Thornton is part of it. Yes, it is one of it, and I think that plus I have the ability. I can probably make use of the ability as it goes along, and I think I can make a little things happen, and you get those extra special energies that you're getting expanded to then boost the damage and do some things there, which will be good for the deck as well.
Yeah, I think it's a solid Pokemon. It's the by far most well-rounded of all the megas. All the others
Yeah.
are like deck specific, either the build around or very similar to a build around. So or very close, I guess. So then Mega Handstand can be, but doesn't really have to be. So it's like kind of cool here. And can go into kind of any deck, not really any deck, but a lot of decks. I think we can go over the rest quickly now, maybe. Wait, how much? What time is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then maybe we'll touch
Yeah.
on the new ones as well. But do you have more to add on Kangaskhan?
No, look. I wish they made the retreat cost too, because I think if they had made it two, I think it's useful. But I don't think it's overpowered. I don't think it's like even if it's one of in a lot of decks, which I guess it would be. I don't think it's pushing it over the top. To be honest, I think then it would make it playable more broadly, which I think would have been reasonable.
Yeah, but I think it's all right. I mean, where do you think it ranks among the megas? Like, where do you rank the
I
5 megas we've covered so far? Because I don't know if you think they're any better than the 5 we've said.
um I probably put the Mega Lucario at the top. I've played it the most. I think the attack with the powering up is pretty good. But that also has the cards that go with it to make the fighting better. So that might be a little unfair, but I'd put the Mega Lucario at the top. Probably maybe make it Kangaskhan number two. That's my thought.
Yeah, and then where do you rank the other ones? Would you say Venusaur's third?
I guess so. The fact that the stage two is tough, but yeah, it probably is because it's viable. Then I'd probably put Mega Gardevoir. Mega Gardevoir is tricky because it just fits. You slot one into a really good deck, so
Yeah,
it's
but you don't
use it.
always slot it into a really good deck either.
Well, then you're not playing it though, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, but like
I
the
mean,
other ones you aren't playing either. Like the other 5 probably, maybe not. I don't know. Some are all right. We'll talk about them quickly, but
yeah. but the Mega of Gardevoir, if you get rid of the Gardevoir EX we have in format, is the worst of these cards. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
But with that, then it bumps it up, and you could potentially even say it's the best of the cards because potentially you would win the most games with this Mega over the others just because Gardevoir is so good.
Yeah. And
so
then
what do you think is the best so far, though?
I think Kangaskhan, I think, is the best. I think Lucario is pretty good, and I think Camerupt is also pretty solid. I think Venusaur is also decent. I think Gardevoir just is like a lot. It's worse than I thought, and I didn't think it was that good. Um, it is good in a deck, but it's not like crazy in a deck. It's like okay in a very good deck. Which again, you could like kind of debate where you want to put that based on criteria, but personally, I'd put it low based on that criteria. Then the other 5 here, we have Mega Manectric, maybe is the most interesting one here. It allows you to, it has 2 attacks. The first one walls basics. The second one can do pretty big damage for 3 energy here. It's an option in a Lightning Box style deck. Lightning Box in general is like kind of mediocre. And I'd say Mega Manectric's also kind of mediocre, but it's all right. And then Mega Absol EX. Oh, you have more to add there.
So I mean, look, it's got free retreat too, and obviously the walling basics we've seen good in the past. The big problem right now is it's weak to fighting, and until the Mega Lucario wave dies down, you just can't play it.
Yeah. And then also. Then the next one, I will say Mega Kangaskhan EX plays sometimes Protective Goggles, which removes your weakness there on basics, which is useful. Speaking of weakness, Mega Latias EX doesn't have one. It's like a big one-shotting one. It can be this like weird hit-and-run poison deck. But long story short, it's weak to Clefairy, Lily's Clefairy EX, which is kind of bad. And it's not that tanky, so it's unfortunately just gonna like trade negatively a lot of the time. And then you have the there's some other basics. There's Mega Mawile EX. This one's like fine. I'm not going to go into it too much, but it's decently well rounded and works within our Caledon EX. Our Caledon EX isn't super impressive, but Mega Mawile is fine. And then you have Mega Absol EX here. Mega Absol is its first attack like instantly knocks out if you have 6 damage counters exactly on your opponent's active, which is like super hard to set up. And then the second attack's like disruptive, and it's all right, but it's not like super impressive. So ultimately, it's okay, I guess. It's pretty bad, I'm not going to lie. And then the last one, I think, is Mega Abomasnow EX. This one is one of those silly ones where you discard cards from the top of your deck, do damage based on like the amount of certain types of cards you hit here. Here it's basic water energies. So you have a deck where you have like a bunch of basic waters. It's like, I don't know, you know what it is, right? It's not very good, but it's funny.
Yeah, and I might have run into someone playing that deck, I think, but I don't remember, and I forget, which probably didn't go well for them. My general comment for these basic megas, outside of Megas Kangaskhan, is the HP is too low. Even if it was good, decks are designed to one-shot 280, right? So
Yeah, probably,
you can't. So you're just saying take 3 prizes 2 times and I'm going to lose the game unless things really go well for me. You're almost I feel like you're kind of guaranteed to lose if that's the main focus of your deck.
Yeah. So that's not so good. And now I think we're going to look at the future megas because I feel like honestly in general like the megas just don't prize trade super well. But there are some new megas from the recent Japanese set. I've clicked on the wrong thing. What am I doing? So Inferno X / the Mega Dancy / Mega Gengar starter decks. I'm going to quickly run down what they do, and then you can add after that like what your thoughts are. Mega Gengar here reduces the amount of prizes your opponent takes by 1, and it has like an okay attacking option, so it's okay. Kind of fun, good for like a Darkness box deck. Then we have Mega Dancy EX. Long story short, it's like attacking Gardevoir. It's like a mediocre basic here. I think it's like a little over. It's being played a lot in Japan right now, but I don't think it's super good. Then we have Mega. What's this Pokemon? Mega Heracross. There we go. And it has like 2 mediocre attacks on a basic. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's pretty terrible. We have Mega Charizard X EX, one terrible name. I think it's like really weird. But 2, you discard it like fire energy and do damage based on it. It's all right. But it's like it's big. It's kind of cool. It's kind of flashy. It's an option within Charizard EX as well. But it's not like a focus there. It's fine. Kind of like Mega Gardevoir. And then there is Mega Sharpedo EX, and Mega Sharpedo has 2 attacks that are like okay. There's some darkness support in the set, so it's okay with those, I guess. And then the best one performing wise in Japan so far, and the most interesting, I guess, is Mega Lopunny EX. Its second attack is a wall breaking attack, but the better attack is going to be the first attack here, which what it does is it says that you for one colorless you do 60 but 170 more if you move from the bench to the active, which is I actually kind of like Mega Camera Up where you're playing switches and then you're doing damage for 1 energy, but it's more versatile here.
Yeah, I mean, 330 HP on a stage one again is nice. Tough to get knocked out. It's fighting weak, but by the time we get it, the fighting mania will have died down, I assume, so that won't be as big an issue. And you have the tool to stop weakness if you want to. I do think I do think having a walling attack is good on a deck where you're really leaning into the EXs, that's what your attacker is. Because I will say, like when I was playing Blissey, there's a lot of fighting, but I also had Mimikyu in the deck, and I won some games because of Mimikyu, because people aren't prepared for that. When the new thing comes out, they're not prepared. So having a card like this is good. It's just nice having an attack like that. But I like that attack. Switching bench to active obviously kind of reminds me of Urshifu VMAX and 1 energy. So, you can heal yourself off. So it has potential there.
Yeah, I want to say regarding that Mimikyu thing. Wait, so you were winning games with Mimikyu against the fighting decks?
Yeah, it depended what the build was, whether they could get around it or not. The other thing is, if they had something to take the Mimikyu, depending how many energies and what it was, then I could be getting my Lucario kind of prepared, at least getting them there with the energies to one-shot that, and then I could get another Mimikyu out. So, as long as they weren't taking the, down, if I wasn't down to 4 prizes, they could still knock out my Lucario, and I could then get the Mimikyu up again, and I could usually make it work, or I could boss them up.
What deck was this?
That
you were playing? Blissey, Lucario,
I was playing
Mimikyu?
Blissey. I'm sorry, I was playing Blissey. I take that back. I was playing Blissey. So, so I could still attack with Blissey sometimes in it. So look, Walling's it's just a good thing, and when the new sets drop, that's when Walling Pokemon are at their best, right? And you knew that back in the day with Decidueye, right?
Yeah.
Decidueye was solid, but then the new cards drop. But the newest, shiniest new cards are the big rule box Pokemon. Something that walls those off is really good for the first couple weeks.
Okay, I will say yes, but also Lucario plays like pretty, or like the fighting decks pretty consistently are playing Leertone and Solrock, right? And like surely Mimikyu can't be very against Solrock, right?
Well,
did you have like Luxurious Cape or something, or Bravery Charm?
No. All right, wait. So the Solrock, that's the attack on that does 70.
Yeah, it'll just one shot you. Yeah.
For 1 or 2? Is it 2 for 1? So that's tricky. The Lunatone though, I could I can one shot that.
No, they both have. With what?
Are they both too much?
They're both 110, yeah. I'm pretty sure one. They're not, by the way, searchable.
I was up against that, but then it was a matter of kind of what you had to was working through things, right? That's what I'd say. It was a matter of timing and who could be the smarter about it. And because playing the wall deck, I kind of know, I'm thinking through the walling options better than my opponents are generally, right? When they drop in, because they're not planning on dealing with a wall strategy.
Okay.
I'm just that good a player, is what it comes down to.
Exactly. All right. That's right. But do you think Mega Lopunny is better than the Megas we have right now?
Let's see. For 1 energy, I don't know that it's better than Mega Lucario.
Okay.
Right, the HP similar, the damage is less on Mega Lucario, obviously, but it's got the energy acceleration for 1 energy. So, you could, and the bigger attack is really good on Mega Lucario. So I think that's close is what I'd say.
Okay, and then so do you think? Final question: do you think Megas are too good, too bad, or just right so far?
They're not too good. Right, because they're not the best decks, and people are trying them out, and they're not dominating tournaments. And based on our experience, they're not the best decks either. But they're either just right because you can play them. I think maybe though they should be a little bit better, is what I'd say, because I would like to see at least one of the mega decks be potentially the best deck in format, right? I don't want to see it tower above everything else, but I'd like to be able to say, hey, this mega deck could be the best deck in format. I don't think we're close to that right now.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. I'd also want to see like one. Do you like Mega Kangaskhan being more like versatile with like a cool ability and stuff, or do you think that support Pokemon should not really be three prizers?
I like it being a support Pokemon. I think it's because a support Pokemon gives up three prizes makes it really dicey to
Yeah,
play. So therefore you have this huge downside, but I think you have to make the support ability pretty good to make it viable. Like I said, I think you make it Kangaskhan, you drop the retreat cost on it. It's still pretty sketchy, right? To draw two cards on a three prize liability, right?
yeah,
In a deck, you're still going to think twice about it, if not three or four times. So I think the support has to um, be better, right?
yeah,
The other card that's coming out with down the road is the Oricorio EX, right?
yeah.
That boosts the fire megas, right? As long as you have a fire mega evolution Pokemon in your deck, you
In
can
play.
accelerate one fire energy to one of your benched fire Pokemon, which doesn't have to be a mega, right? The
Yeah,
one you're
as often as
accelerating
you
to
like.
as often you like. So that's very good. So that will boost things up. It's in the same set as the Mega Charizard. I don't think Mega Charizard becomes a thing to play. Because Mega Charizard just goes as an option in the Charizard deck, but maybe Mega Camerupt, then you can use the second attack on Mega Camerupt, right?
Yeah,
So
I don't know. I don't think the second extra are good though.
well, that's true, but at least you're doing 280, and if you get the burn happening, now you're doing 300, and that feels a lot better to me uh, than the other number.
I don't know. What's 300 hitting? Mega Kangaskhan?
Exactly what you just said is the best of the megas. So I can
Yeah,
now one shot it. So I Mega Camera can beat Mega Kangaskhan in the future.
yeah. Um, theoretically, I mean they're gonna like
Yeah,
boss knock out your Oricorio, right? But whatever.
yeah, but at least it's a basic, so I can like rescue stretcher it back into play, right? If it was an evolution, I'd be in a lot of trouble.
Uh,
But right, because then you lose it and you can't set it up the next turn. So, but yeah, the Vegas, right? They should be a little better. I don't think they're quite as good enough. Perhaps we can come up with the strategies to force people to take 8 prizes. That's what the Megas Kangaskhan deck is doing with the Fortress EX, right? They're really looking to force that issue, which is interesting. I don't think it's giving up extra prizes to make it happen usually isn't the best way, but I think to make the megas work, we've got to be able to get our opponents to take 8 prizes most of the time.
yeah. So what you're saying is bring back ADP.
Bring back ADP. No, bring back Eternus VMAX, right? That's the solution to everything.
Yeah, maybe they should bring back what's another three prizes people don't like? Probably most of them, I guess. Um,
Uh, yeah, probably that's the case. So I think they learned from the past in that they're not making these the best cards in format because then people would be, I think they'd be upset, right? About it because then the whole power creep and stuff. But you make these three prizes, but they're still not the best cards in the game. Makes the game interesting. I guess that what I wonder is maybe they're planning that as things rotate out that these will kind of get better as some of the older cards rotate out because there should be a period where the megas should be amongst the top decks. I think right, just kind of makes sense.
yeah, like when Gardevoir EX rotates, Mega Gardevoir EX will finally get a chance to shine.
Well, yeah, no, obviously that's not the case. So, I don't know. Once Goldengo and Charizard rotate, though, then maybe some of these other decks can have their day in the sun. I don't know.
Yeah, because looking at the metagame, like most of the decks, like there aren't really any good decks printed this year outside of Marnies, which I still think Marnies is like super mediocre. It does have the highest win rate, but it's just like a coincidence or something. So no, but I think like looking at the decks, I guess Alakazam's also like decent. I don't know if you played Alakazam. That's not a mega deck. Well, it's a mega evolution deck from the set Mega Evolution. But that's kind of fun, but it's not that good.
Yeah, no, I haven't done that. I'll need to do that because that's always, the Alakazam it's fun stuff. So but no. Yeah, so the top decks are still the top decks, right? Things didn't get shaken up too much. Probably the
Cerulege, I
biggest.
guess. Oh,
Yeah, I mean, also the fighting cards are probably they're the biggest impact, but I don't think it's taken the existing fighting decks up to the top either, right?
no, except Cynthia. Cynthia's is good. I promise Cynthia's is good. I said it was good before, and it wasn't that good, but trust me, this time
Cynthia's Garchomp with a 48.59% win rate.
it's good stuff there. Wait, what's it? Um, it's all right. It's got it's got one more loss than win. That's like not that bad.
Okay. Yeah, it's not that bad. That's true because there's the ties, right?
Yeah.
That skew it negatively more so than it should be. But it's still below 50% even without ties. So it's not great yet, I would say. So, but you'll sort it out and you'll take Cynthia's to the top here.
Yeah, no, I
So
already did it. I made my list. Everyone check out my video. It's awesome. All good. Amazing.
okay.
Perfect. Etc.
All right. So anything else as we close up here?
I think that's about it. I think, the megas are balanced, I guess, maybe a little weak, but it is what it is. Being balanced is better than being overpowered. So, I think they're in an okay spot, and there are some cool things here, but people are still figuring them out as well. But definitely looking forward to seeing what the future is going to be like with the megas, and I think the Mega Evolution era as well has started out with some cool cards, which we talked about some of them, and there are more that we didn't talk about. But we hope you enjoyed the episode. Make sure you check us out on YouTube, on the Uncommon Fossil and 10 Types channels separately. Those we each have like different content outside the podcast, which is on both channels there. And then you can also check us out, the podcast itself, on podcasting platforms if you're interested in listening to us there, if that's more convenient to you. But if you have comments and you are listening there, make sure you leave the comments on YouTube because we won't see them otherwise because of the way it works, unfortunately. But we hope you enjoyed, and as always, we're excited to see you in the next episode.
Take care.